Hi guys, Kurt Provost here, and if this is the first time we are meeting, I have some very exciting news for you because I just found out that the company I am partnered with and have been partnered with for over a decade now, some of the products you see beside me here, award-winning products in every category they enter into, is preparing to launch in the Indian market next year. Now, why is that relevant? How is that relevant to you? I hear you asking. Good question. Because generally, when a large multi-billion dollar multinational corporation enters into the Indian market, you don't usually get to benefit directly from that, do you? Unless perhaps you're purchasing shares in the company or you're one very lucky distributor of that product. However, with this company, with our partners, this is a very different story because it provides you with the opportunity to actually partner with the world's #1 beauty device system brand. I know that's a long title, but that's a very important title because of the entire beauty industry. One of the fastest growing categories and categories set to multiply over the next few years is the beauty device category, of which we are #1 in that category. So you get to partner with the #1 company as it launches into the Indian market, and you can capture a slice of the turnover and revenue that they produce in the Indian market and funnel it into your own bank account, into your family's bank account and future generations' bank account as it grows over the years and decades to come, just like the other markets that they have entered into. So what am I talking about? Well, stay with me for the next few moments. I'm going to guide you through a few different stories to provide some context, a bit of information on who this company is, who and how you can partner with them. It's not going to be an in-depth presentation. This is just a quick video that I wanted to create straight away as we had the release to the shareholders just recently and found out this really important information because time is of the essence. So let's pull up this presentation that I quickly prepared and we will go through a few stories of people who have been in the same situation, the same position that you find yourself in today. And that is these people that you see on the screen right now. The first one is a Japanese gentleman by the name of Kaneko Katsumi. He was living in the US back in 1992 and he was looking for a good business opportunity to take back to Japan. He found out that NuSkin, the company that we are partnered with, was preparing to launch in the Japanese market in a year's time. And so he got to work because he saw that as his opportunity to capture a slice of the Japanese market. And in a year of hard work and focused dedication, he was able to build a team of over 8,000 distributors just by working with the Japanese community directly in the US, none in Japan. And so when Japan opened the following year, those 8,000 people helped open and launch that market. And in the very first month of business with NuSkin in Japan, he received a commission check from NuSkin that was over 3 crore rupee, which I had to Google, and that is over 600,000 Australian dollars because I'm here in Australia. That's a very good first month in business. NuSkin went on to be such a massive success in Japan that in the first year of business there, they actually sold more products than Coca-Cola did in their first year of business in Japan. And they have gone on for many decades to be very successful, and he captured a large portion of that success. And that's the best part of this. It's not just a once-off great month that he had, because 3 crore rupee is really good. But he had the following month, because of the nature of these products that you see here, they are consumable. So people reordered the products. They were liking the results that they got. They liked how they felt with those products. They kept ordering them and have ordered them ever since. He has received over 6 figures US per month from the business that he built that year before Japan opening for over 30 years now. So just do some of those calculations. That is generational wealth right there, because he's able to will that on to his children and his family for the future benefit. Now let's take a look at just beneath Kaneko Katsumi there is Rain Ho. He is a Singaporean, and in the top right hand corner is Angela Liu. She's also Singaporean. They were business partners. They had an education business in Singapore. And they were, like many of you may be, busy business owners. So they weren't looking for anything else. They didn't have enough time to do anything else. But Rain had adult acne, and he came to NuSkin through the products. So the products fixed his acne, cleared it up, and the business naturally followed because people were asking him, "What did you do? How did you get rid of that?" He saw the visible difference. He was the difference demonstrated, as we like to say here at NuSkin, and the business kind of came along with that naturally. What happened then was NuSkin announced that they were opening China in a year's time. Very similar theme to Japan there. And if you're aware of Singapore, there's a lot of cultural ties with China. There's a lot of Chinese people within Singapore. And so they focused just on the Chinese community in Singapore, and they built a massive team within that community. And when China opened a year later, they captured a portion, just a slice of the Chinese market. It was a very nice slice of the Chinese market, and they helped build and grow that market. They were so successful at this that they broke records in the direct selling industry for the highest monthly commission check. And that was back in 2013. They earned over 1.3 million US dollars in a single month, and they have gone on to earn way beyond that ever since. But that is just to give you an idea of what focus and dedication and the right timing prior to a market opening like China, like Japan, and they really capitalized on that. Now, the final story that I want to share with you is Daniel Kim. He's the Korean gentleman that you find in the bottom right-hand corner. He was a taxi driver in Australia when the Australian market was opening with NuSkin, and he actually picked up an American businessman who was traveling to Australia to expand his business here, and he shared the opportunity with Daniel as he was in the taxi with him, as he got picked up from the airport. And Daniel saw an opportunity there to escape the situation that he was in because he had no leverage in that taxi situation. So he saw a great potential there to build a business that had leverage built into it because of the nature of the products and because of the nature of the compensation plan of building teams and earning a percentage from what they generate. And so he went out and built just with the Korean community within Australia and New Zealand. And what happened was NuSkin noticed just how much volume and turnover was happening within these markets that they ended up opening up the Korean market. And of course, Daniel Kim took his team there and helped to open that market. He's been retired for over 25 years now on a multiple six figures per month income. It is quite a remarkable story of what he was able to achieve there. I'm not saying necessarily you're going to achieve that, but I do know that we will be sharing very soon, in a few years' time, stories of Indians or people who were connected to the Indian community who heard that NuSkin was preparing to open, and they took this seriously as their opportunity to capture as large a slice of that market as possible. And I think it will dwarf the stories that I just shared. So let's move on and find out who exactly is NuSkin. And I'll run through this just briefly because there's a few key points that you need to pay attention to. And the first one is, of course, that they've been around for 40 years. So they're not exactly some unknown startup company that's high risk. They were founded back in 1984 with $5,000 startup capital, and they grew to $1 billion within a 10-year period, which makes them a hyper-growth company. And they are currently turning over above $2 billion per year, a very stable, consistent revenue generated. They have a lot of excess cash that they like to store away, very conservative in their projections and what they do. They are very serious when they say that they're going to do something, they do it. So this is what is so exciting about the information they've just shared to shareholders, that they are preparing to launch the Indian market in 2025. And that means we have a runway, a clock has started and it is ticking towards that runway where every second counts here, that we move towards the opening of that market and we start building with the Indian communities in the markets that are currently open, like Australia, US, UK, Singapore, New Zealand, etc. They are on the New York Stock Exchange, and that's probably the most important thing that you need to know, because it means that they are audited by Price Waterhouse, and it means that they are transparent. So any claim that they make must be substantiated and backed up, and that's super important to us as distributors. There's substance behind the claims that we make, and it means that we can share and offer these products to people, our close friends and family, and we know that they are actually going to do what they say, because that's what this company really focuses on. There's over 75 full-time scientists in-house, and that means we have this scientific engine that is constantly focusing on research and development, on innovation. They always innovate. Each of these products that you see behind me, I chose just a few out of the 200, 300 plus range that we have around the world, because these are highly innovative, groundbreaking technologies in their respective fields. So it's not just beauty devices that we work with, it's everything from shampoo to toothpaste to internal health and well-being. Everything to help you look and feel your absolute best. And they have just, they've been in the process of investing over 500 million US dollars into transitioning the company into an AI driven and fueled company, creating a number of really valuable tools for us as the distributor force to use for free. So this is something that really adds value to the opportunity that we have in our hands right now. And these are some of the award-winning products that you have, I've just briefly mentioned there. And I'm not going to go into them right now, but they are very demonstratable products. I think the money is more important in this particular video. So these are the average monthly incomes that you see from the distributor force around the world. So these were from last year's annual return. And if you look on the far left side of the screen there, you'll see people who are extreme part-time. I'm talking about someone who did a social media post once and got some sales from it. And that's the wonderful thing about NuSkin, is there is no actual entry fee, there's no minimum orders, there's none of that stuff that used to be in the direct sales industry. NuSkin has made it a very open door policy, equal opportunity for those who want to come in and do something with this business model. And so those who are just dabbling a little bit, that's the incomes they're generating down there. And then as you move along to the right hand side, you're getting more into a serious person who is actually building a committed business. And on the right hand side, you have someone who's going full time, all in, and those average monthly incomes there are over 23,000 US dollars, nearly 24,000 US dollars as an average monthly income. That is an extremely good average monthly income, but of course, from the stories I just shared before, it can be way more than that. And I believe anyone who is contributing to the opening and the launch of the Indian market will end up with averages way beyond what you see on the screen right there. So I'm going to close out with just introducing you to these three ladies, because this is a much more recent story, and it will give you a blueprint of where to from here and what to do with this information. So on the left we have Haishan Lee, we have Lenny Lee in the center, and we have Karen Yang, who is in New Zealand there on the right. So these are three ladies who are all friends, and they were using the NuSkin products, but they thought, you know what, why don't the Chinese community within Australia and New Zealand know about these products? I mean, some people do, but it's a very small percentage compared to just how amazing they are. We think we could be the ones to really share these products and get them out into the Chinese community in these countries. And that's exactly what they did. And this was around 2019 when they began to do that. Well, within 18 months, all three of them had generated over 1 million US dollars in commissions for each of them from what they'd been able to build and grow and expand within the Chinese community. Now, there are multiple team members that they have since then that have also generated over $1 million for themselves. It's quite incredible, the growth that we experienced within these markets just by working with the Chinese community. So that is kind of the blueprint that we're going to follow right there for the Indian community. We're just looking for the right leaders. We're looking for the right people who will step up and say, hey, I want to be like them. I want to do exactly what they just did. I'm going to bring these products to the Indian market. I'm going to figure out how it is we're going to do that. And at the moment, you probably don't know how to do that, but that's okay because there's all the support and all the training that is necessary comes attached to this business. It's actually free. It's part of the business, and part of that $500 million investment in infrastructure is also providing greater tools for us to help us train and equip our teams with exactly what they need to have. So if the person sharing this with you is talking to you about what is happening with this market, then they're going to be the person who's helping to guide you through this process, and me as well. You get the entire team, not just the person standing in front of you, and that is a wealth of knowledge right there and a wealth of support to guide you through exactly how to build and grow in this new and exciting time. So this final slide here is just about the first mover advantage, and generally I always believe it's a good time to be partnering with NuSkin Enterprises because they are constantly innovating, which means there's a renewal of opportunity always. Every few years there is something new and exciting, a new innovation that launches. But right now with the Indian market, there really is a small slice of time that we will never see again, because it is the opportunity to have the founding teams within a brand new market, and a market that is one of the largest economies in the world, and it is growing rapidly. And so I believe the future for India as an entire market, as a country, is extremely bright. And I believe that the future for NuSkin in India is just as bright. And so this is a unique opportunity right now. And for those who are moving fast, who have that first mover advantage, I think it will pay dividends in the years and decades to come. So if that is something that you would like to be part of, if that's something that you want more information on, which I encourage you to look into, because if this is the first time you're hearing of NuSkin, I guarantee you it will not be the last. This is something you're going to be hearing about and seeing a lot more, and it's much better to be hearing about it and starting right now than in a few months or a few years time. So get back to the person who shared this with you and let them know whether it is the products that you want to find out more about, because they are definitely something that you would like to have an experience with. They're very experiential products and we like to demonstrate the difference. Or is it the business? Is it the money that you want to find out more about? Because we can definitely dive a lot deeper into that topic right there. And that is some of the key advantages to this company and to this business model. And so I will have presentations for both of those depending on what you need. Just let the person know what it is, and then they can help guide you from there. My name is Kurt Provost. I am super excited that you are now in possession of the same information that the people that I shared the stories of in this presentation, Kaneko Katsumi, Rain Ho and Angela Liu, Daniel Kim, and the Chinese ladies here in Australia. You're in possession of the same information that they're in possession of, and now it's up to you what you do with that information. May you choose wisely. Ciao, guys.